Washington's most watched athlete right now, a Russian.
Alexander Ovechkin,
who from the day he arrived in North America had one goal in mind.
Ovechkin fires, he scores! Alexander Ovechkin, welcome on board!
Scoring a lot of them. Now Alexander Ovechkin, who led the Washington Capitals to their only Stanley Cup, is about to shatter a ceiling once thought impossible. He's on the verge of passing Wayne Gretzky, who is currently the NHL's all-time goal-scoring leader at 894. The great one, expected to be in the building when Ovi finally breaks that record.
How likely are we to see another hockey player take the title?
That's a great question. I don't think we're going to see it for some time. It's going to take at least, another generation, I think.
But could a Russian replacing a Canadian help break the ice for Moscow? And could that thaw the coldest war in sports since the Cold War itself? Russia in the political penalty box, isolated from international competition since its president, Vladimir Putin's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. These Russian soccer fans sure hope so, unfurling a banner that translates to, "We're with you. We're waiting for the record." Our team on Moscow streets say the people who are following closely think Ovechkin can bring the U.S. and Russia closer together.
I think they will help, of course, definitely. Sports have always reconciled everyone.
But with the war in Ukraine still raging and President Trump recently critiquing Russian President Putin, bringing warmer relations might be difficult.
Unfortunately, there have been tense relations, maybe biased attitude towards our citizens abroad, but everyone sees Alexander.
Russian President Vladimir Putin also hoping to lean on the game. The Kremlin saying Putin and President Trump talked about potential matches between Team USA and Team Russia on a recent call. The International Ice Hockey Federation declining our request for comment. The International Olympic Committee not getting back to us. Sports important to Putin, who regularly hits the ice himself. And Ovechkin's Instagram profile picture features him with Putin. The hockey star not quite skating away from Putin after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, telling reporters at the time, "Please, no more war. It doesn't matter who is in the war, Russia, Ukraine, different countries."
Ovechkin doesn't speak about the politics of it. He views it as Putin is his president in his country, and therefore he supports him.
And as President Trump says he asked Wayne Gretzky to be governor of Canada after proposing Canada become part of the U.S.,
Wayne was not too interested.
Fox News recently running an op-ed floating Ovechkin as Russia's next president, asking who might fill such a tremendous vacuum after Putin steps aside. And answering, quote, Ovechkin checks a great many boxes. Still, when he does break Gretzky's record, don't expect politics to silence fans in Washington.
Everyone will be giving him a standing ovation,
cementing his legacy on the ice, while Ovi's ability to help Russia's global relations is still very much up in the air.
Jesse Kirsch is joining us now. I got to tell you, living in D.C., right? I mean, it is like all about the Caps. I feel like every time there's a game, it's like, did Ovi score? What did he get, right? The piece, I think, very well laid out sort of what we've heard from the Russians here. What about Canadians and how they feel about Ovi breaking the record? Because as we understand it right now, there may be sort of a complicated relationship with Wayne Gretzky at the moment.
Yeah, and to be clear, he's known as the Great One for very specific reasons. Not only the all-time leading goal scorer, he has the most points and the most assists. And even if Ovechkin, and I shouldn't say if, Hallie, when Ovechkin breaks this record right at this point, he is not going to be taking over when it comes to assists and points. So Wayne Gretzky is still holding two of those three big records, if you will. And by the way, shout out to the team who put this together, because it's not just me involved with this. Jordan, Alana, and Mike, who were involved behind the scenes, helping lay out everything going on there. But back to your question about on the Canadian front, Dan from the Athletic, who we spoke with earlier, saying that he doesn't think that Canadians are ready to quite part ways with Mr. Gretzky at this point, even though things, are seeming a little bit, there seems to be some friction when it comes to things politically there. Again, he still has some of those top records. He is an all-time great when it comes to the game of hockey. Yeah. And I think, in Washington, you probably hope this as much as anyone, they can have sports be separate from politics as much as possible.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.